1% Rule by Tommy Baker. Chapter 1. Success is not a talent, it's a skill. How often do we decide to start something new, a business, regular gym sessions, or a healthy relationship with our families and fail miserably after the first try? The answer is too embarrassing to say. However, we shouldn't be ashamed of trying because many choose not to do even that. On the other hand, our skills and dedication rarely match our high expectations at the beginning. But instead of examining our own behavior, we tend to attribute our lack of success to external factors such as our job, lack of time, or others who have succeeded in our desired field. Luckily for big dreamers, the trick is moving slowly. Ironically, society has gotten used to the fast and furious mode over the past few decades. Capitalism exploits our productivity, so we've learned to value the final result instead of the process. We don't see mistakes and rejections before the last successful attempt, which distorts how we perceive organic growth. A little drop of patience is more potent than a waterfall of impulse. Tommy Baker. Tommy Baker noticed this tendency too. He used to struggle with motivation and achieving his ambitious goals. Some questions didn't leave his mind. How can someone be constantly driven while others shoot themselves in the foot? Or are there universal habits or rituals for success? Needless to say, it took Baker years of self-discovery to find answers. Now he is a thriving businessman, author, podcast creator, and coach, ready to share his knowledge and mindset with people. His main rule of success is to take things slowly. And we must remember Brad Pitt used to wait tables before becoming a TV heartthrob. We all start somewhere, so why not support each other instead of joining the rat race? Chapter 2. The Devil is in the Details. All too often, we indulge ourselves in fantasies of success, despite knowing it never happens overnight. Who can blame us when the media continuously feeds us with the perfect celebrity images while hiding years of hard work, refusals, and tears? Although not every Hollywood ace makes it to the top from ground zero, we still compare ourselves to them instead of working toward our goals. The thing is, real life is rarely cotton candy. Chasing an illusion is way easier than facing failure. After all, falling hurts when our expectations are over the clouds. Too cool for school, we don't achieve our goals because of the following: high expectations and surrendering after facing difficulties. Waiting for the right time when we have more money, time, and energy. A grave mistake is ignoring obstacles. Life is never an upheaval. Instead, it's a roller coaster where each slope is off the horizon until we plummet. Detours are another thing we overlook. For example, YouTube first appeared as an online dating service, but its success came after people started sharing their own content. If YouTube's developers had stuck to the initial plan, they most likely would have failed. Finding the perfect time for change is another fairy tale we like to tell ourselves. After all, being a beginner and making mistakes is something to be ashamed of in our society, meaning we don't see stories of gradual improvement as often. Instead, we're encouraged to become successful just for the sake of it. But a 2011 study on motivation showed that people improve most when working with awareness, even if they do less work eventually. To clarify, work is valuable only when we do it mindfully. The rest is simply completing tasks without visible progress. Challenges are necessary. They test our eagerness to persevere. Tommy Baker. Tommy Baker realized the gravity of one little step at a time. He found 3 things we dread that push us the most: consistency, focus, endurance. Working mindfully promises to take us to places we've only imagined, which can be overwhelming. However, starting small and training ourselves to persevere little by little promises more success than refusing to change our vision. Even without these 3 elements, just 1% progress each day means 365% improvement in a year. Regardless of whether or not you're into math, it's still a solid reason to try. Chapter 3. The Recipe for Success. We all dream of becoming a better version of ourselves: successful, wealthy, beautiful, and confident. These emotions are the sweet filling in the cake we bought to celebrate. Surprisingly, it doesn't taste as good as we hoped. The dough is runny on one side and dry on the other, as if the baker had never baked before. The punchline is us. We are the bakers. Similar to a recipe, we follow advice from many coaches and books. But when there's more than one recipe, the dopamine kick dissolves, followed by frustration and confusion. Making the pastry base is not as exciting and Instagrammable as decorating. Yet, it guarantees the cake will be firm and truly delicious. When it comes to personal success, the recipe for a proper base has 4 ingredients: daily repetition, preparing for a leap of faith, appreciating the process, a set of inner values. Imagine we're in the desert without water, food, or shelter, but we know where to find them. It's crucial not to stop, or else we die. The same happens with a goal. Daily repetition is vital for success. Sure, most days we don't feel like running or reading. But the thing is, life doesn't give us time or spirit to work on ourselves. It's our responsibility to create space for it. For example, John Grisham, a proclaimed author, committed to writing just 1 page daily. And by the end of the year, he released a book. Mistakes are inevitable. We can fail today, but stopping altogether will make us fail tomorrow and each day after that. Tommy Baker. Sure, change is scary because it's unpredictable, and we can't afford it in today's economy. From this angle, staying in the same place seems like a lesser evil, but sometimes the leap of faith separates us from a desired path. Luckily, practicing small hops can prepare us for the giant leap. Repeating the new habit daily builds inner trust, making the future less unreliable because we're already in it. Let's return to the cake analogy. A sweet filling may be sickly without a neutral biscuit, and so is the taste of success when we don't value the journey. Without experiencing challenges, we'll never know the price of accomplishment. We also need firm beliefs that'll refresh our dream every time we're about to surrender. Did you know? Overcome by high expectations, most people stop practicing a new habit on the second day. Chapter 4. Keeping your passion burning. Today, we seem to have everything to succeed in life. In theory, at least. But our capitalistic mind forgets there are solutions we can't buy instantly. Despite our growing appetites, focus and persistence are the 2 resources unavailable on the market. We spend almost 11 hours glaring at a screen every day. Information bombards us so intensely that we no longer feel comfortable in silence with ourselves. Instead, we're mentally and physically drained despite doing nothing. Next time you drag your feet home, ask yourself, did I do anything to progress, or did I work to move others? We underestimate focus as a simple productivity sign. Deep focus feeds our sense of meaning and fulfillment. We get this feeling during rare outbursts of energy. Still, on most occasions, we reach for our phones to check emails or scroll through Instagram because we can't stay still anymore. It's barely noticeable, but phone addiction has severe side effects: poor brain clarity, inability to finish tasks, impaired sense of achievement, low energy, apathy, and complacency. No secret to success is effective without focus, including the 1% rule. On the other hand, certain conditions can build our focus, converting it into work. Firm boundaries, check your email once a day, switch your phone to airplane mode, and find the most focus-inducing place to work. Say no. Most invitations come from politeness, stealing your time and energy. Start small. 20 minutes of deep focus daily is better than 3 hours once or twice weekly. The last rule hints at another crucial resource for success: persistence. Unlike motivation, persistence propels us regardless of our mood or doubt. It comes with a frustrated mind and an exhausted body when the goal is too valuable to surrender. And so we grit, detaching from the emotions telling us we're not in the mood today. Perseverance is everywhere: in sweat after a gym session, speaking in front of a crowd, and on a therapist's couch. Tommy Baker. We endure every time we go against our sense of security and comfort. Nevertheless, we'll give up sooner or later unless we know why we resist. The long-term vision justifies daily grit and helps maintain our passion. Don't be shy to burn for your goal. Turn your whole self into obsession. Chapter 5. Embrace the suck. Starting a new goal is exciting. Buying a notebook for planning sends a shiver of anticipation down our spine. Even the first try is exhilarating. Yet, we feel like we worked a night shift by the weekend. Incorporating a new routine is a commitment and never a pretty one. Success doesn't come to us waiting in our best clothes. Instead, it brings us a garb to change our rags when we win. From now on, imagine your favorite celebrities on the red carpet as this metaphor's embodiment. It'll motivate you. Speaking of celebrities, we always see the final result of their work, but never their struggle behind the scenes. For example, Matt Damon and Ben Affleck spent a decade making ends meet and writing the script for Good Will Hunting. The movie received 9 Oscar nominations and guaranteed them a spot in Hollywood. To achieve overnight success will require a decade of consistency. Tommy Baker. Ironically, we succeed in collecting bad habits as a society. Social media addiction makes us compare ourselves to others, feel frustrated about our lives, and search for instant gratification in the same place. Instagram is an excellent example of this vicious cycle. We can no longer anticipate reward by working tediously toward it because the internet instantly gives us all we need. On the other hand, we still keep our expectations high while our commitment meets the Titanic. And when it comes to work, we react only to urgent tasks, rushing to complete them because deadlines have become our new dopamine. Luckily, grouping work by its urgency and importance helps clear our vision, manage essential/urgent tasks like crises, focus on important/non-critical work with strategic planning. Avoid unimportant/non-urgent tasks as you would interruptions. Limit unimportant/non-critical work like gossip, email, or social media. Rushing is unnatural because organic growth takes time. Tommy Baker. Prioritizing our workload can also be a kind of self-care if we stop treating the latter as soothing. For example, a face mask will cover dark circles after a long week, but revising your workload will prevent them. Perseverance is gritty, and so are its means. Stop comparing yourself to others. Instead, learn their journey and seek inspiration. Choose to work hard just one day. Repeat daily. Think of one thing to do right now to improve. Creating an inspiring mood board doesn't count. Lower your expectations or increase your commitment. Find the golden middle ground. Chapter 6. Becoming Successful in 90 Days. Success is always sweet in dreams. Usually, we imagine ourselves happy and accomplished after overcoming hurdles. However, we often avoid thinking about ways to achieve a desirable yet scary milestone. The moment we must deal with how, our brain freezes in front of a blank page. The basics of efficient and realistic planning are critical for our goals. Breaking down a giant pile of duties into manageable chunks makes the pursuit less terrifying. Otherwise, we panic because we can't even see the starting point. Ironically, the latter is throwing away the how. First and foremost, we must prepare our mind space for change, just like cleaning our desks before work. Our brains don't adjust well to multitasking. Too many times, we fill them with overwhelming knowledge we'll never use, and starting a new path may require free space. To do so, we must cancel plans or stop routines that don't serve our new goal. Not only are we freeing our mind space, but also time. Another critical element is finding your backbone. It is the time for aesthetic Pinterest boards, inspiring playlists, or favorite celebrities to look up to. There are some rules, nevertheless. It manifests your vision. It causes butterflies in your gut. It is realistic. It is valuable to you, not someone else. Having prepared mentally, we step into proper planning. Consider your priority, whether it's a career, health, relationships, or something else. As an example, let's say it's spirituality. After that, break your goal down into 3 pillars. Determine your desired outcome for the next 90 days. Protect your personal boundaries. Identify the primary process to propel you. Learn to say no to plans and offers that don't fit your preferences. Plan your daily 1% action. Meditate for 10 minutes in the morning. Upon clarifying the main direction, pay some attention to details. An excellent way to do so is by listing other small milestones for the next 90 days. Limit phone use, start journaling, and stop agreeing to plans automatically. After that, delete less important ideas. Automate some things. Delegate tasks or ask for help. Identify weekly achievements. Over-planning is as harmful as no planning at all. Tommy Baker. Chapter 7. When Dream Meets Reality. Even the most intricate plan can crumble in real life. And most of the time, we're unprepared to admit it because we demand change here and now. But just like ignoring roadblocks causes a car crash, ignoring the physical and mental struggle causes surrender. The first roadblock is low commitment. Criticizing from the comfort of our bubble is convenient until others learn from their mistakes, but we stay in the same place for years. Everything looks easy on the outside, yet it becomes easy only in the process. Ironically, the second roadblock comparison comes from the latent jealousy we experience seeing others persevere. We'll always compare ourselves to people around us. This is our nature. Our choice, however, is to stay stuck and suffer from self-loathing or use others' success as a blueprint and inspiration. Celebrities are both a strategy and a vision, thus being a perfect example for this case. Pain and discomfort are other hurdles that tempt us to give up. However, pain conveys that we're leaving our comfort zone and evolving. Boredom is a relative trap. Some may say it's as painful as physical discomfort. Repeating one thing every day without visible results looks like running in circles. But the change of perspective will show movement up the spiral instead. That said, we must remember it next time the boredom kicks in. Finally, it's not the right time, and what will they think? Share first place on the list of obstacles. There will never be a perfect time for change unless we show up and realize it's been there all along. And yes, we'll receive judgment, just like everyone else. Progress is impossible without a backlash. However, it also means you affect things and the people around you. In other words, you bring change. Showing up is the best solution to most problems. Tommy Baker. Now that the roadblocks are clear, how do we deal with them? The answer is accountability. Usually, it depends on the urgency or deadline. We can tailor the latter to trigger higher responsibility by cutting present deadlines in half, setting daily goals and rewarding ourselves, sharing our plans with others for peer pressure leverage. Unfortunately, with big achievements comes complacency, and staying too comfortable can make a person forgetful. We must remember it. Everyone wants accountability until they get punched in the face with it. Tommy Baker. Chapter 8. Road trips take longer with refuels. The plan is ready, motivation packed, and we're ready to embark on a journey to new landscapes. But where is the gas can? We can't drive long miles without a refill. Everything and everyone needs a recharge, and thinking we'll manage with only our enthusiasm is naive. Eagerness to achieve milestones one by one is worth praise, but we're not the eternal engine. After all, the window view starts to blur when the car goes faster and faster. Our vision does the same if we don't switch between periods of activity and relaxation. Notably, when Tommy Baker talks about time out, he doesn't mean letting loose. Intention is the best part of any process, whether work or rest. We're on the right path if we have a conscious reason for our actions. For Baker, intention within rest means reflection. As we mentioned continuously, life is unpredictable, and neither plan can embrace its detours without change. For this reason, we must take breaks to calm down and reflect on our next steps. Reflection helps us avoid erratic actions, saving us time and effort. Tommy Baker. Disconnect might be another word to describe times of visible inactivity. Today's world encourages the hustle and working ourselves into a frenzy, which is why so many people report falling off the corporate bandwagon, entirely burned out. To avoid exhaustion, we must incorporate disconnects into our routines. Baker notes 4 of them: momentary, closing our eyes and breathing deeply for a couple of minutes before a meeting; daily, meditation, reading, or practicing an instrument from 15 minutes to a few hours; weekly, regularly hanging out with family or friends or having a self-care Sunday; quarterly, rejuvenating trips every 3 months. Quarterly disconnects are particularly interesting. Like any living creature, we are affected by seasons. In winter, Baker suggests reflection and rest. It's also time for unexpected insights. The spring season boosts our productivity through new plans and ideas. As for summer, this season is about taking a step and making dreams come true. Finally, the fall season is for reaping results and celebrating our achievements. Looking closely, it's a natural work-life balance. That said, the best solutions are often the easiest. There's no need to complicate things when life can do it for us. Chapter 9. Conclusion. Success has as many definitions as there are people on Earth. The variety of values and life stories create a unique understanding of accomplishment for everyone. Some find gratitude in their family and don't strive for a career, while others dream of their own business or finding their place in the world. That's why comparison and self-deprecation don't stand a chance when it comes to success. There are too many variables to consider. Still, we can't help but confine ourselves to high expectations. However, we need more simplicity to stop dreading changes and go after our dreams instead. Enjoying the process is what makes us keep going. Taking one calculated step at a time can take us further, especially when remembering why we started. Still, life is not linear, so plans don't always work. But instead of feeling frustrated, we can learn to feel thrilled before an abundance of opportunities waiting to unfold. And while the future is out of our control, we always have today. Nothing seems simpler than doing one little thing today, knowing it will turn our dreams into reality. With every day behind our backs, we build more resilience and courage before hardships. In fact, 90 days can beat a fear of plans, clearing the mind instead. Nothing will seem that difficult if we can promise to endure this time. There is no gain without pain, but we can prepare ourselves for the inevitable. Try this. Try using the Pomodoro technique to set time chunks for work. Develop better concentration through music. Practice minute-long push-ups, burpees, or similar exercises to regain attention between tasks. Sign up for any class that may spark your interest, like guitar, acting, writing, or something else. Stick to free flow writing for 5 minutes in the morning,